Here we are. So I'm not going to start again, but we'll already get going. So the first few things I'll cover, and then I'll sort of open it up to you guys for any questions, anything that you feel that's stopping you, or any advice that either I could obviously maybe jump in, or people on the call that are doing well, you guys can obviously jump in as well. It's not all about myself. But one thing I would like to say is, can we all bring people into the business? Can we all recruit? I know you for a fact you can, because we've all done it. All right. So what is it, do you feel, that's stopping you from getting the numbers that you want to get? So I'll open up to you guys first, and I'll make a note of a few things. I'll try and cover it over the next sort of half an hour. So what's stopping you from getting into double digits every single month for recruitment?
For me, it's confidence and knowing what to say and how to approach people. And if they have questions, if I'm confident enough to message and show them the VOP, then it's being confident enough to answer some of the questions that they come back with.
Okay. So it's a sort of a confidence thing to start with. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it is to me, and definitely.
Anybody else? What's stopping you? Text, cold market. Okay. Anybody else? So if I said to you this month,
I'm just saying John's confidence is getting those conversations started and not having that feeling. I've spoken to a couple of people over the last couple of days, and you start to get that feeling of nervousness as you're talking to them, so you kind of cut it short and don't sell it as you probably should do.
okay. So again, a bit more confidence side of things. Cool. Anybody else? What stopped you from doing it?
I think when you've put it out there, you've put the VOP out there, and you've kind of got good things coming back, but they haven't quite sealed the deal, it then kind of puts you back, because you're a bit like, oh, it's going to keep happening, rather than pushing for the ones that will actually go through.
So it's keeping up, I don't know, consistency maybe?
Yeah, it's that kind of, it's already kind of been not rejected, but like it hasn't quite happened, so then it kind of puts you off going further.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Anybody else? What stopped you? We've got loads of different types of...
I can put my hand up and say that this week has been mad at home, so 12-hour shift. So although I've done daily activity and sent messages, I've not sent enough. So I need to up my game and send more. So I know that just sending a minimum of 10 doesn't always work for me. So I know I need to send more out, connect with more people.
Okay.
10 minimum is great, but I think, yeah, sending more definitely works.
Can I just ask then, who are you sending those 10 messages to? Is it like people you know, or just
people I connect with? So I'm always making new friends, talking to people about products and stuff. So if I need to buy anything like a face mask, and supporting other people as well on their business and what they're doing, but just getting to know them, just talking to them, which is what John done with me, got to know me, inquired about what I'd done at the time. Yeah, just building friendships. So build them every day. It doesn't have to take all your day. 10 minutes here and there in the day. Make sure you're commenting on people's posts as well, so you're interactive on Facebook. Facebook is my route, but you've got to find out what's best for you, really. So is it talking to people in public? Are you part of any groups outside the house, etc.?
I messaged my window cleaner the other day to see my window cleaner messaged, I think it was Tuesday or something when it was raining, and he messaged saying he couldn't come to do the windows because it was raining. So I sent him back the presentation for UW. But I did, when he did come around the other day, I did speak to him about it. But as I say, it's just selling it is, you start talking about it and then you feel as though you're trying to push it down people's necks and you kind of cut it short. So it's that confidence. And then I messaged I had a new car in December. I mean, I spoke to the car salesman about UW at the time, and so this week I sent him a presentation. So it's like you say, connecting with people like that, just anybody really, isn't it, that you can make a connection with? But it's just getting the closure, isn't it? That's the problem.
So a lot of you there have obviously been saying, I mean, not a lot, a few of you have opened up and said it's a confidence thing. And that's actually the first thing I've got on my list there to sort of run through. It's mindset, belief, and posture. So the first things that you need to think about is that mindset of, I mean, I put my stats in there for the last 3 years. Probably before that, my stats were nowhere near as good as that, or nowhere near that, to be fair. It was very hit and miss. But what I did do at the point is I drew a line in the sand and I've just said, I'm going for this. So it was a mindset thing. So going back to like your goals and your reasons and your why, you've got to have that mindset of wanting to make this work as a business rather than a hobby. So it's up to you if you want to do that. And then it's learning how to perform the skills from there, isn't it? So it's, I mean, I've been in it for a long time, and as you know, I played around with it for many years until I took it serious. And I was probably only getting the odd partners every now and again because I never had I won't say belief, I always had the belief in the company, but probably a little more belief within myself at that time was, yes, I see everybody doing X, Y, and Z, but can I do that coming from my background, or etc., etc. So I totally get that belief part of it, and it's once you've built that belief. Sorry, what's that? Jules, you're on there, right? Yeah. Can you monitor any of the chat for me? Is that all right as I'm going through?
Yeah,
Just
that's fine.
and if there's anything that I need to jump in on or anything. So sort of mindset stuff, it's that line in the sand. Do I want to make it work? And do I have the belief to make it work? At the minute, does everybody have 100% belief in the business model? The way the company are going, everybody should have 100% belief in the company and what we offer. Now, mindset again is looking at, we join the business, what's the problem sometimes is because the customer bonus is that good up front, we tend to always focus on customer gathering. Is that fair to say? Rather than thinking about the long-term longevity of the residual income. So to start with, every single day, I go out on a purpose to sign at least one partner. That's my mission every single day. So that's number one. You want a belief in yourself. You want your mindset of, I'm going to go all out to try and sign a partner up today. Okay. Rather than going, I want to sign a customer up today. And if you believe, you get up in the morning, I don't know, when you brush your teeth or whatever you do, wash your face. Well, I was going to say wash your teeth and brush your face there. Whatever you're going to do, have that belief in yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I am a lean, mean recruiting machine, and I'm going to sign a partner up today.
John, can I just go back to the belief in the business?
Yeah.
like today, I had quite a big complaint from one of my customers, and she's going to obviously call and get it sorted. But when you hear negative feedback about a company like that, it does kind of stop me in my tracks. Like, am I confident in promoting this company when I am having bad feedback? I know you're going to get bad feedback everywhere, but it does knock my confidence a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that will happen. I mean, there's no point trying to. I mean, when I bring people in, I tell them that it's not all plain sailing. There's no point in trying bluff your way through it, if that makes sense. It's a business, it's a company, and it's services. So computers and humans are involved. So occasionally stuff goes wrong, but we are the best at resolving issues, and we are the best for everything else. That's why we do what we do. So complaints will happen in anything, but they're a lot less than the good stuff. So again, go to that mindset issue of, if you focus on them parts, that's going to stop you moving forwards. But what about all the good stuff that's happened before that? So naturally, I mean, I'm not just talking to you, it's a natural human instinct to pick up on a negative point, but we probably wouldn't have even picked up the 10 positives that you might have had that day. Does that make sense? So that will always happen. It's how our mindset is set to resolve and overcome them obstacles that happen. So I'll quickly touch on, I don't want to go into all mindset and all that sort of stuff, because we are looking at obviously bringing in new people, but I think mindset and self-development is one of the key elements of it. Because if your mind's not right and when our self-development isn't there, and stuff, a curveball happens, such as you might set up, go, right, I'm going to do really, really well today, open my phone and I've got a negative response off a customer or partner over the last couple of days, and then you've gone a Debbie Downer, and you don't mind me saying it, pissed off, so you stop doing what you're doing. You were just about to send 10 text messages out to people, really enthusiastic, and then all of a sudden that stopped you in your tracks, and now you're not going to do any activity today because you feel bad about it. Has that happened?
Yeah.
I've had that many times, but what I do, I've overcome that now. So I literally just have a process. So you need to find your process. This is for everybody. What works for you to get you on that positive in the morning? So is it before you go to bed? Is it in the morning? Whatever it is, what self-development are you doing to be the best version of you that day? Because once you're in the right mindset, it's a lot easier to attract people into the business, because it's more of an attraction market rather than going out looking for people. That's my honest view anyway. I mean, there's quite a few on here that I've brought in, and to be fair, I probably haven't even asked a lot of you. You've probably come the opposite way, because you get attracted to what you're going to do. So that's an important thing. Get yourself in your right mindset yourself before we start anything else. All right. Have that belief, but then have that posture as well, because we're a huge FTSE 250 company. We're probably the only genuine company that can get this much money into people's pockets in a short-term basis and a long-term basis. So what other company can you get paid £200, £300, £400 for signing one customer up?
You can't. There's no other company.
Exactly. So if people are struggling, again, a mindset thing, we are a very yellow team. So we're a very helpful personality group of people. And that's, again, probably because your mindset stuff of who you attract. So your personality eventually will attract your own sort of tribe within your team. Because we are a very yellow group of people, you've got to think of, how can I help people? Can I save a little bit of money off people's bills? Which, in all fairness, without the cashback card and stuff, we're not saving huge amounts. We're not saving them hundreds and hundreds of pounds. We'll be saving them 20, 30, 40, 50 quid. That's not life changing. But if you put somebody on the right tracks who isn't in the right position, either financially, mentally, or whatever, but you've helped them become a lot better person over the next couple of years, for me, that's a lot more a better feeling to bring people into the business rather than help them save money. All right, so that's why I'm always trying to bring people into the team rather than save them a little bit of money. Okay, so number one in the morning, your aim is, I am going to sign somebody up today as a partner. Okay, so don't get up in the morning and go, I want to sign a customer up today. Aim for, I will sign a partner. Not every day it happens, but if you wake up every morning with that mindset, do you think you'll sign more partners in a month than you're currently doing? Can we all sign a partner up a day? Is it impossible? No. So here's the thing then, if we're looking at barriers, if I gave you £1 million, all right, if you signed a partner up every day this month, could you go and do it? Or would you do it?
You'd give it a good go, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So think about, I mean, I've had this gripe for a while since we made the business so cheap to join, is the nail's not good enough for some people. So we join, we know we want to make a change, but we haven't spent a lot of money to make that change. So that nail's not quite rusty enough to get out there and make stuff happen. Until the light bulb happens for yourself, which it took me about 7 years to do, if I'm all honest, it took me a while. But once it did and I have a purpose, then I just make it happen, and nothing really gets in your way once that happens. But if you join this business for argument's sake, £50,000, would you do more activity than you do when you join for £10? I know you all would, because you'd work your backsides off to get that 50 grand back, wouldn't we? Because that's why you're doing it. So try to think about, it's not a £10 business. It's an opportunity to make yourselves a multi-millionaire if you really, really wanted it to. But because it's only 10 quid to join, you don't sometimes think of it that way. So if you got up every morning and you're going to get £1 million for each partner that you joined, you'd probably make it happen in some shape or form. So it's finding out why you're not doing it now yourself personally. So what are your barriers? So we need to look at yourself, because I'm going to run through the stuff that I do, but I want you to sort of evaluate yourselves a little bit. So what's stopping you? Because I don't know what's stopping everybody, if that makes sense. So you need to look, evaluate, because there'll be some stuff that you're doing really, really well, but then there'll be some stuff that you're doing over and over again that's not really working. So if it's not really working, should we change it a little bit? Do we need to improve? Do we need to upskill? Do we need to change tactics or approach, or what is it that's not quite working for yourself? And then try and evaluate that and move forwards. Because I did a lot of that. I mean, I do a lot on social media now, which since I relocated, that was probably one of my main sources was social media, because I didn't know anybody. So it was a way of bringing in contacts. So if I listened to everybody else, I wouldn't have done it, because at the time, social media was probably frowned upon in the company. It was like, you can't do this, you can't post. They didn't want us posting stuff on Facebook, let's put it that way. And whenever you said I use social media, it was a bit frowned upon. So sometimes you have to be a little bit different and a bit of a maverick to achieve what you want to achieve as well. Because now, I mean, look, going to some of these kickoffs, everybody's using social media in some shape or form. But when I started it 3 years ago, everyone said you can't do it that way. You shouldn't do it that way. Why are you doing it that way? But I believe in myself. If I made it, if I did it properly, I could make it work. Because all it is networking in a different format, isn't it? So rather than you in, I don't know, BNIs or a networking group, I use social media to network. So it's not about posting loads of adverts. Like, to me, you probably all have me on Facebook. I don't post a load of stuff about UW. It's very rare that I actually post stuff about UW. If I do, it's more about achievements that's happened over time. So, right, if I'm waffling and I'm going off track, just stop me, because I'll just keep going. So just stop me and I'll throw back on track, because I'm not going to get through all this otherwise. So we're happy with that part, mindset. We need to look at that self-development, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and work on your self-development and your own mindset. I can't change that. That's something you have to personally do, and find what works for you to get that right mindset. We should all have that belief, and we should have good, solid posture. And what I mean by posture is that comes with confidence and belief, obviously, but have that posture of when you're speaking to people. I have that sort of thing in my head now, because I'll speak to enough people and I'm doing enough activity, which I'll touch on in a second. I have the posture to sort of go, well, if they're asking me too many questions, I can literally just say, it's absolutely fine. It's not for everybody. But if you do change your mind, here's the link or whatever. I don't waste, I won't say waste my time, but I don't go nagging, and I don't go try and persuading people, because I know we will make a success of it anyway, if they join or they don't. All right, it's all about timing for people. So it might not be the right time for them there and then. So I just let them know. So look, it's not for everybody, and the timings might not be right. That's absolutely cool, but keep in touch from time to time and just walk away. You don't need to keep going up and selling sales pitches and stuff like that. Just be yourself. All right, because people buy into people, not sales pitches. So have that posture to walk away and have that thing that you're going. And with the mindset and belief and posture thing, know where you're going. Okay, so if somebody asks you about where you want to be, or what you see yourself doing over the next 12, 18 months, whatever, what would your answer be? Do you know where you're actually going? Because people like to be involved in something that's going places. So again, it's about that attraction, isn't it? You're attracting people into something. So I know I'm going to the top, and I'm going to drag as many people who want to come with me. So it's entirely up to the people. If they want to come, they come. If they want to, if they don't, they don't. And that's my sort of belief in what I'm doing. And you need to let people know where you're going. Even if you've just joined, have that belief in what you're doing. Borrow, if you don't have the full belief when you've just joined, borrow somebody else's belief. Steal someone else's story that you can use. All right, until you get your own stories. So really have that posture. Because if you didn't have big goals and big reasons, do you think people with aspiration themselves, do you think they would want to join your team? Or would they go look for somebody else? All right, so sometimes we have to look ourselves again, it's all about attraction. And then you mentioned this, and I think Helen mentioned it in your text, was where to look for people and who do we speak to. So the first things obviously when you join, you write your lists and you're speaking to people that way. But further afield, you're going to be looking at proactive and reactive things, aren't we? So what could we do sort of proactively, or what are you doing proactively to show people what we do on a daily basis? So what I do is proactively, as you know, I'll probably send a minimum of 10 messages in the morning. And that's a bare minimum of 10 texts in the morning. And it's all based on recruitment. So I don't send any customer gathering texts or calls out. It's all based on getting up in the morning, looking yourself in the mirror. I'm a lean, mean recruiting machine, and I'm going to sign a partner up today. So I don't then go, right, who can I sign up as a customer? It's 10 recruitment messages goes out. Okay. So that's a bit of proactive. And I'll also go onto my list as well. Who have I not spoken to for X amount of times, or who do I need to follow up on? So have I spoken to them in the past? So your lists are massively important, not only when you first start, but as you're moving forwards as well. So it depends on how you work. I'll hold my hand up. I'm not the best list builder or keeping lists, should I say. But what I do, because I'm very active on it, I'll just go back over my messages and stuff. I don't sort of delete things. So I'll keep a record that way, and I'll keep in touch with people from time to time. And then first thing in the morning, again, is I'll always send everybody a birthday message, whose birthday it is, because that gets you into conversations, doesn't it? I mean, I've had people join, recently, who I've sent recruitment messages out to, and they've probably looked at it, wanted to reply and forgot all about it. But then I've sent them a happy birthday message a couple of days after, and then they've said, well, what was that you were on about the other day, John? Can you tell me more about it? Because I've actually followed up a little bit. So it's, even when you send a message out, doesn't mean people join there and then. It's over a period of time. And I'm just trying to think, people.
John, can I ask a question? Sorry. You know, when you said about you look through your list and like who you haven't spoken to for a while. So when you message those 10, are you straight in there about the opportunity? Or are you just straight, like, are you having a general conversation, like, you know, like how you doing, how's your weekend, see the score with the football, that kind of stuff? Or are you like, do you know them with UW and there's a great earning potential?
A mixture. So my what I would call a recruitment, my recruitment texts, them 10 are all based on trying to bring somebody into the business, but it's not directly to them. It's indirect message what I send. So it's all about, I mean, I'll share it again. I've shared it many times in the group, but
Is that the one where you say, do you know anybody who might be interested?
So I'm not saying spamming them, it's out of curiosity. Who do you know that this would benefit? No worries if not, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember off the top of my head, but because I just sort of make it, change it and send it. So I don't read it every morning, but it's not direct. And then I always send the VOPs out. So the VOPs, the virtual opportunity presentations, is that short video, that 6-minute video with Jimmy and everybody on. I looked at stats the other day, 98% of the partners I brought on have all watched that video. All right. So I know some people say, oh, it's not for them, or they don't like using it, or whatever. Some people love using it. But it all boils down, it's not you, it's them who watch it. And it's, if you're doing enough activity, it will highlight somebody at some point, or be right for somebody. It might not be right for everybody. And again, it's that posture thing. So if they say it's not for them, or they don't like it, or whatever, that's absolutely fine. And if you listen, has anybody listened much of Jim Rohn stuff where he says, I just need you to be one of my 10? Because he knows if he introduces, I mean, he did it about an opportunity presentation, a physical opportunity presentation. If he invites 10 people or gets 10 people into the room, he knows one of them will join. So you need to have that mindset of, if I send a VOP out to 10 people, one of them will join. 9 of them won't, one of them will. So if someone says no or slates it or whatever, that's absolutely fine. You're one of my 10, I'm pleased. Right, who's next that I'm going to send it to? Because the more people that say no, you're getting closer to somebody that says yes. And that's literally all it is, isn't it?
You have to harden up to the no's. I used to cry. Honest, I used to cry. Just got to harden up to it.
It's a process. And once you've got your mindset right, I mean, it took me a while, but now it is just a process for me. So it's finding your sort of daily habits of consistency and making sure you're just doing it every single day. If you do it every single day and you're speaking to enough people, people will join. And it's like when I try and share my, I do share my stats, but sharing when people do join, obviously I'll post it in the group and I'll try and do a little bit of background on it so you know how it's happening. But also most of them don't join there and then. It's because I speak to enough people on a daily basis, timing's right for somebody every day. So, I mean, I've had people, it's taken them 10 years to join the business. I know Zoe's on the call, it took her 4 or 5 years to join the business. I've had people literally 10 years it's taken since I've shown them it to actually go, yeah, I want a bit of this now. Why did you do it 10 years ago? You've wasted all these years. Just don't get your mindset on stuff that other people's going on. Just you focus on you and your activity. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. All right. Our job is just to show them what we do. And when the timing's right and we keep in touch with people, they will join. I honestly believe everybody will join at some point over the years. So just have that belief. I mean, I'm going to put Liz. Do you mind unmuting yourself? I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here.
Oh no.
So Liz is brand new into the business, so well done for being on here. All right, yeah. So first sort of Zoom. I can't remember. Did I ask you in the past about doing this? I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I think we spoke twice about it in the past.
Yeah.
In fact, I tried to get you into my business. That was, I think, the first time.
Yeah. That's I'll say that's a common thing, if I'm honest. There's a few people on here because it's networking. All right, I'll listen to other people as long as they listen to me, and if they find what we do is better, by all means join us. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we've spoken a couple of times. I had a quick look through the messages. It was quite a while ago. And did I approach you recently, or did you approach myself?
No, it was me. I mean, we've dropped messages backwards and forwards over the, I don't know, what, a year and a half maybe. And just with what's happening right now in the country in terms of, you know, the gas and the electricity and things, it just kind of came back into my head and I thought, no, now this is needed more than ever. I wasn't settled with the products sides of network marketing. So I thought, you know what, this I think could work better for me. So I dropped you a message the other day and there we were.
So, thank you for that. Thank you very much for jumping on as well. So that's just proof of the pudding, how it works. All right, it's not there and then. It takes time. It's relationship building up as well, isn't it? Like I say, we've messaged each other, we've commented, we've chatted.
Oh, and I've been watching you. You know, and that's the other thing that maybe many of us forget is that just because people say no doesn't mean that they're not watching. They're watching to see how you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
And then they're going to come back.
100%. Thank you.
Mhm.
It's a bit of a test as well, isn't it, sometimes? So,
Yeah.
especially if you're speaking to, for argument's sake, other network marketers, it's a test. When you speak to them, if you ask them directly or indirectly, however you want to do it, if you ask them to join your business straight away, they're not going to go yes, because they're already in a business. So they want to try and persuade you to join their business, don't they? So it's a two-way thing. So it's a little bit of a test. It's a little bit of a, how can I put it, a cha-cha slide, isn't it? It's a bit of a dance. The first few messages or first few interactions, it's just a little bit of a dance to get to know one another, isn't it? And then over a period of time, the watching, like Liz was saying, she's watched for a couple of years, I think, and it's, people are testing you. Because sometimes I don't always believe in what they're doing, but they're not going to come out with that straight away and go, oh, I'm so glad you messaged me, Liz. I want to jump on board with what you're doing. I'm crap at what I'm doing. Can I be involved? You know what I mean? It takes time, and people will assess it and watch you, but also watch to see if it's the right person they want to be involved in a business with. Don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So you want to think about that as well. If you do use social media, how do you portray yourself on social media? So are you a positive, are you a go-getter, whatever vibe or tribe you want to sort of attract? How are you coming across on social media? Because if you're having enough conversations and people are watching, the reason why they come back is because they like what they're seeing. So are we moaning about things? Do we pick up the bad points in the day? Or are we picking up the good points in the day? That kind of thing. Or they'll see your successes over the years as well. So if you're starting, if they see in your journey and you're seeing your progression, they'll pick up on that and say, well, hang about, these are going somewhere. I want to be involved in. I want to be involved in that. So just think about what we do, and if you like social media, to try and bring people in. So right, I'm completely going off track again. So what was we talking about? Proactive. So daily method of operations. Have your own daily method of operations. So for me, I share that Teamsynergy one, don't I? So them 5 things I'll do on a daily basis. All right. So I send my messages. I send a minimum of 5 follow-ups, because not everyone replies, do they, on that day? So it could be just a simple, I mean, I'll share the follow-up one I do, because I don't share the VOP straight away, because it's a, I don't like to spam people. I like to have a conversation with people. But if they don't reply, because I know if this for a fact, I do it myself, is if I get a message and I'm busy, I don't know, putting the boys to bed or whatever, something's going on, and I'll put it down, I'll go, I'll reply to that later, and I completely forget. Because I've opened it, I forgot to go back to it. So if you're busy and you have quite a few messages, you've got to think, what will they be doing as well? So it's not, don't be annoyed at yourself if someone doesn't reply. Life gets in the way, and it's not a necessity for them at that point, because they don't even know what it's about. So the next day, I will send the pop out, but it's again an indirect one. So I'll just say, look, I know you've probably been really busy, Liz. So here's the short video. Have a look and let me know what you liked best. Or what do I normally say? In fact, I'll tell you, rather than trying to pretend I know what I'm on about. Where's it gone? Sent them all out this morning, so it should be here. Lost it. Anyway, I'll come back to it. But basically, it's just saying, I know you've been really busy, so just apologising, isn't it? I know you've been really busy, just like I have been, but here's a short video that explains what we do and what we're looking for, something along them lines. But I'll share all this again if people don't have it. So 10 texts. I always follow up the next day to the ones who haven't. Because I normally say 5, because most of them will follow up. And some of them might block me or ignore me or whatever. Doesn't bother me. I just know it's my process. In fact, I prefer it when they block me, because I just know I don't have to speak to them again, because they're off my list then, aren't they? I know I'm not going to keep going back to them. It doesn't happen very often, I won't lie, but it's going back to that and going, next, you're one of them 10.
I had 2 people block me a couple of days ago, but I don't know if you noticed, when you send a message to someone who you don't you're not like connected with on Facebook, then you get a message at the top that says, do you know this person? There may be a scam type thing. And she screenshot that and she sent it back to me. She said, why does it say this is a scam? And then I was blocked. So I was like, oh well, thanks for that.
Is that somebody you know then, or obviously not?
No, it was somebody that, it was a cold market prospect or whatever it is. I was being brave, but it did not come off.
But look, don't let things dishearten you. Like we were saying to Danielle earlier, stuff happens, but just go, right, that's just one of them. Don't lose sleep over it. Seriously, it's not worth it. If you've got big enough reasons and big enough goals, stuff shouldn't get in your way. Yeah, it pisses me off for a couple of minutes, but have that attitude of, if something annoys you, well, I won't say annoys you or upsets you or annoys you, however you want to take it, if someone does something like that, how would you react? Are you going to sit back and not do anything for a day, week, month, year, whatever, or go, hang about, I know this works, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to send another 10 messages out now. I'm going to speak to X amount of people. I think for me, it's throwing logs on my fire when somebody annoys me like that. It just makes me do more. Or if I'm not doing so well, possibly in a day, rather than going into my shell again, I'll try and make myself do more to make sure I finish on a positive. Because I mean, most of you know in the chats, you'll see some of mine come in 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Because sometimes I get a bit between my teeth. I'm like, I'm not going to sleep because I've had a shitty day. People are saying no. Somebody's going to say yes to me today. And all it is doing more activity, because you know it works. It's a system. You just need to show more people that what we do. That's all it is. If you show 10 and you get 1, if you're whatever your ratios are, if you know it's 10 to 1, you just need to go and show 100 people to get you 10 that month. Find your ratio, and then you know how many people you need to speak to. What other proactive ways can we bring people into the business? So you can reach out in the morning, calls, texts, whatever you want to do. But what other proactive ways can we do it? Or what other proactive ways are you guys doing it? Because you're all recruiting.
I like to go on to the specialist Facebook groups that I have interests in, because it's much easier to make friends with those people that you maybe don't have to necessarily touch on the business initially. Just the fact that you've got a common interest, like me with my cats, is a big one. I'm on quite a lot of cats groups. And so I've actually got people that are now on my personal friends list from there, just because we both have a cat that looks exactly the same, for example, or we like a particular breed, or our cats do mad things, or I've adopted from the Middle East. So, I've got mine from Dubai as well. So I find that you can gather a lot of friends, and so the conversations are easier. And so it's not a hard sell anymore.
It's a relationship business,
Can
isn't it?
I just say hello to Liz? Because I'm not the crazy cat lady.
Who's the crazy cat lady? In fact, I have one here. This is one of my three.
Oh,
She came from Dubai under
wow.
a year ago. Yeah.
Brilliant. So yeah, so it's relationship business, isn't it? So the more people you've got looking at things, so for argument's sake, if you do send messages and calls or whatever, or your interactions, you've already got stuff in common with. So what is your niche? So that's brilliant. You love cats, so bring more people in that love cats, and you've got something to talk about. So find your niche. So for me, it was more about outdoors, dogs, family, that kind of thing. So it's finding that niche so that when people are following your journey, they've got an interest in your journey. So brilliant example there, Liz. Find groups that you want the people to be involved in.
Yeah, it's basically you're attracting your tribe. You're
Yeah.
attracting like-minded people.
Exactly.
So there's in my opinion, there's a higher percentage of chance that they're going to, gel with you and therefore want to listen to what you've got to say.
Fantastic. So yeah, great examples there. So find your niche. What are you good at? What are your traits? Who do you want to attract? Get involved with more than people. Build your audience. Because that's what it is, isn't it? You're building your audience for more people to see what you do. So reactively, how can we do it reactively? At the moment, times are hard for everybody, aren't they? Let's face it. So at the minute, it is a bit like shelling peas. It can be that easy if you just prick your ears open or watch on social media or whatever. If you're out looking for things, stuff crops up all of the time. I don't go looking for it on social media, but it pops up all the time on social media. I'm struggling with this or I'm struggling with that or whatever. And it's not going into your sales pitch. It's, I can help you with that. What do you mean? How can you help me? Well, and just go into, I'll message them privately. I won't go into a big conversation on a comments thread or anything. I'll just private message them. Just seeing your comment. Are you serious about that? Because I can help. If they're looking for money or annoyed at work or whatever it is, if you've got that rapport with people, just message them and build it up that way. Out and about, you can speak to people, can't you? I mean, prime example, the other day when even going to pick my car up, got a courtesy car all the way down to London. The guy that dropped me off from Enterprise to head office, he's now signed up, because everybody, I try and give them at least a business card, or I ask them if they're open to another way of earning additional income outside of what they currently do. You just got to ask them. You've got to ask the question. So all I did with that guy, just got out. Obviously, we got chatting a little bit. When I got my bags out, I said, look, you had really good customer service and we're looking for people like yourself. Are you open-minded enough to look at ways to earn additional income outside of the enterprise? I said. And he literally wanted to bite my hand off, because he said, absolutely. He said, the cost of living in London is ridiculous and I've just finished university and I need something else. So he was pleased that I asked him. So we need to be thinking about that as well. Doesn't always work out that way, I'm not going to say, but we need to speak to people for that to happen, don't we? So reactively, could be in the, whatever you do, whatever your socials are. If you're in the gym, someone's moaning, or in the sauna, whatever. I used to do a lot in the saunas, actually. We used to have a coffee afterwards and we used to go through it that way, but I don't have time now with the boys. I don't really go to the saunas anymore. If I go to the gym, it's a quick gym session and out, so I don't have that time as much. But just picking up, keep your ears open, listening for people to moan, and you've got the solution to that problem, haven't we? To pretty much all the problems. If anybody's skint, the best thing to do, or again, thinking about customer or partner, if somebody's moaning about money or the bills, what's your first reaction? Is it, I can save you a little bit of money on that? Or I can get you that bill for free by earning an additional income. So again, it goes back to that mindset thing, isn't it? So I know if I bring them in as a partner, if their bill is, I don't know, £2,000, if you've got them X amount of customers, that's their bill wiped out. So think about saving them full bills rather than a little bit of 10 or 20, 50 quid, whatever. Get them free bills. So yeah, keep your ears open, eyes open, reactive and proactive every single day. Presentation. So if you're showing the people presentations, how can you turn that presentation excuse me, into a partner? So when you get onto a call with somebody, again, what's your first instinct? What do you want from that presentation? Do you want a partner? Do you want a customer? So just open up to the room. So when you do a presentation, what's your first thoughts? What do you think your goal is when you're doing that presentation?
Well, it must be a partner.
Personally, at the moment, it is a customer, because it's the forefront when I'm doing a presentation, and I do shy away from the partner side of it. I won't lie. Don't know why.
Yeah. Anybody else?
So I aim for referrals and hopefully both at the end.
So again, going back to that mindset, isn't it? When I go onto an appointment, my instinct or my thought is, I want to get this person as a partner. That's my whole thing. I want to get them as a partner. Because if they become a partner, 7 out of 10 partners that join become customers anyway. Okay, so you're going to get the money anyhow. And you're going to build your residual income, and you're building your team at the same time. So I know if I'm doing, if I bring in 10 to 12 partners a month, 6 to 7 of them will become their own customers, which means they become my customers as well as their customer. It's a double counting customer, isn't it? So that's how I gather customers as well. If I go on there thinking or knowing I'm going to try and get them as a partner. If they don't, or if you've asked people to become a partner, they turn around and say it's not for them, just say, look, it's absolutely fine. It's not for everybody right now. But like most sensible people, you probably want to save a little bit of money then, won't you? Because a lot of people don't like to say no twice. And you're telling them, like most sensible people, if they turn around and say no, they're basically saying they're not sensible. It can be sometimes how you word things. So like most sensible people, you'd like to save a little bit of money, won't you? And do it that way. If you get referrals, like Joel said, my first thing is partners. Second thing is referrals. So you've got more people to then show, haven't we? Because you are always going to get customers if you show enough people. That's just the way it works. Because we are the best, so you are going to sign customers anyway. But the point of a presentation is to sign a partner or get more referrals, so you've got more people to speak to. If they've given you referrals, it's pretty much a no-brainer to become a partner for me. So I try and get as many referrals, if I get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. And at the end of the presentation, use the presentation. So you've given me 10 referrals. How much is that in referral bonuses? If they've got 10 homeowner referrals, how much will they get paid? 500 quid, 50 quid a referral. Yeah, the reason why I've picked 10 is because I'm crap at maths. So 10, it's 500 quid, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. If they're obviously all homeowners, our average customers from head office 82%, I think it is, that take 3 or more services from us, right? So they're all homeowners, so they're taking 3 or more services, which means they're going to be paying you between £250 and £400, depending on your activity that month. If they got 10, did you want 500 quid? Or what's 10 400s?
4 grand.
4 grand. So which would you prefer? Do you want 500 quid in bonuses, referral bonuses, or do you want me to do the work with you with these referrals? You sit on the end of the phone call or Zoom, whatever it is, and get paid for it instead. It's a no-brainer when you put it that way, isn't it? They don't have to do anything. They just sit in the background. You can gather them for you. Once people get the habit and they've got a few customers, they get to like it more and they want to do more, don't they? Although getting money in people's pockets as soon as you can. So sort of do it, use the presentation to bring in partners as well. If this has happened quite a lot in the last year, it was more when I was doing more remote stuff and I was just using my phone, but they've taken away the button now, which they're bringing back on. When they were doing that, like not quotes, but basically signing themselves up, weren't they, recently, because the prices were that high and we were the cheapest. At the end, they were sort of texting me or messaging saying, right, I think I've done that now, because obviously you'll get the email, wouldn't you, come through that they've signed up. I've done all that now, John. Is that all I need to do? I used to just say, no, there's just one more bit that you need to do. You need to click become a UW partner, set yourself up as a partner so you can become your own customer. And they just do it because I think that's what they need to do. It's all, again, belief, posture and mindset, isn't it? Rather than, again, I've got a customer now, that's it, I don't need to do anything. Bring them on as a partner. Who was it that put it in today or yesterday? Even when the customers join, it could be the night before, still follow up the next day with them referrals. Look, you've given me 4 or 5 referrals there. If they've said no the night before, sometimes they just need to think about it as a partner. So look, I've booked in Fred, Julie and Heath. All right, I've booked these people in. So you go back to Liz, because Liz has given me the referrals. Liz, you know you said you didn't want to do the business. You're happy just sending me referrals. Look, I've booked these 3 people in. Are you really sure you don't want to sit at the end of the phone and get paid up to £300? That's potentially like £1,000 just for them 3 people. Does that make sense? So go back and follow up. Okay. Any other questions on that presentation? How to use a presentation? Is that clear enough? Cool. How to engage. So I know a lot of you probably advertise the fact you wanted people to become partners as well, aren't you? So I don't know, you might put it on social media or whatever. And I think Helen's, this is going to cover a little bit of your stuff as well. It's what to say to people. A couple of you said that. What do I say? So I say the same thing to everybody. Okay. Again, it's about relationship build up. So I'll go on my phone now, and rather than trying to explain it, I'll just tell you exactly what I do. So if somebody's commented, said they would like more information, or they've messaged me for more information about working from home, however they've sort of asked me, I'll always send the same message. And I've had a few today, so I'll just go to the actual message and tell you. So my first one is I always say, basically thank them. So no, that one's not a good one because that came through spam to me. So my first message is just to get to know them. It's always I'll say, morning. This was a lady called China. Morning, China. Hope you're well. Thanks for the comment. Can I ask whereabouts are you based and what do you currently do, please? So they've asked me for information, but I've turned the questions onto them. So why do you think I've done that?
Get to know them a bit better.
So again, Paul?
Get to know them a bit better. It's kind of like a connection that you're looking for first, isn't it? Before you go in with the information, it's like to gain a connection with them first.
Yeah, just a connection, a bit of rapport. Anything else, do you think, why I've asked them questions?
So you know if they're in the UK.
Yeah, could be one of them. Anything else you could use that message for?
Find out what they really want.
So again, what was that, Paul?
To find out what they really want out of the business as well.
Yeah. So a few reasons why I say it. I mean, same things that you've mentioned there. Report, find out where they live, but be different again. So if you're on like a work from home group, stuff like that, people are bored of being spammed all the time. And as soon as somebody asks for some information, they get bombarded with stuff. And what do people usually like to talk about? Themselves. But when people are trying to sell them things, they don't get to speak about themselves. It's always about the person selling. It's like, come and join Utility Warehouse. This is brilliant. It's the best thing that's going to change your life, blah, blah, blah. And you vomited all over them. And by the time they've switched off or blocked you and moved on to something else. So build that bit of rapport up. So that's one of the reasons. And so you can come back to them. So you're asking them whereabouts are the base and what is it they currently do? Because for me, I go back to, it was Chris Williams that told me this years ago, was start to interview people, not the other way around. So I had the approach of, I'm confident enough where I'm going in my business. People need to sort of sell themselves to me, if that makes sense. Do I want them in my team? Not the other way around, me selling me to them. They need to sell themselves to me a little bit. Does that make sense? It's not like an arrogance thing, but it's a posture thing. So before face-to-face stuff, I used to go and sit with people in a cafe, and the first things we used to do, I used to ask them questions about them first, because I used to say, right, thanks for your time, blah, blah, but just so we know you're right for the business and vice versa, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. And I used to get to know them a little bit first before I showed them the actual business. Because if you really didn't want them in your team or your business, you can change the conversation, couldn't you? And say, look, I don't know, get somebody to ring you or something. You need to dash out, but you don't need everybody in your business. You just need the right people in your business. All right. So have that posture. Again, you can have that rapport of where they come from. So you could have that relationship. Oh, I used to live there, or blah, 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 and that kind of thing. And I always ask them, what is it they currently do? So why do you think that's important?
You probably want to know if they're in like a network marketing company already, perhaps, or if they've maybe got the skills to do well in this business, or whether they know a lot of people, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's that, and think about our tools as well. So what can we send them?
Send them stories.
Yeah, the stories. And now you obviously use the virtual opportunity presentation, but sometimes I use a bit of both. We've got the company one, haven't we? And we've got the Giants one. In all honesty, I flick between the two. So usually if it's more of a, I don't know, more of a family related one, it could be a stay-home parent, for example, or they want to do it for the kids. I'd probably send more often than not the company one, because that's more family orientated, because they're talking about the family and they're doing it for the family, if that makes sense. So you're just trying to build up a little bit of a portfolio of somebody before you just go all in and sell. So try and get to know them. And then the next one, obviously they'll tell me what they do, etc. Lost it. There we go. So yeah, for this one, they were from Manchester. They had 2 kids. So I just asked them how old they were, that kind of thing. So a little bit of rapport build up and relate as well. So I just related to, look, I've got 2 young boys, one's 3 and one's 1, blah, blah, blah. So they know it can be working around that as well. So you relate into that. And then when they ask, or then I'll say, it's easier for me to show you. We've got a short video that explains what we do and what we are looking for. Are you free to watch now? Okay, so rather than vomiting all over them again about utility warehouse, I'll let the tools do the work. And in fact, Liz, I think that's the exact same message I probably sent to you, wasn't it, the other day?
Yeah.
Video explains what we do and what we are looking for if you are free to watch now.
Yeah.
So again, it's playing on the words a little bit. Are you free to watch now? If they're free to watch now, sending them it now and then following up straight away. If, for argument's sake, I mean, I get it all the time. I can't now. I'm just putting the kids to bed, or I'm at work or whatever. But they'll give you a time when they can watch it. So you're not just throwing it out to people. Your follow-ups then more important. So if they say now, obviously that's the best one that you want, isn't it? And then my next one, cool. Have a look and let me know what you liked best and what stood out for you, please. www.uwinfo, blah, blah, blah. All right, send that out and then just follow up. If they're doing it there and then, you can give them a call, can't you? What did you like best? What stood out for you? Or if they just want to be text, just follow up the same thing. What stood out for you? Let them tell you. And then they'll say the flexibility, whatever, and then just relate again. Fantastic. I love the flexibility as well. So relate to them. And then rather than going on and on and on and on, they've watched the information. They know pretty much all about it. My next question is, how soon do you want to get started? So they've watched the information, they're interested, rather than overselling. So who's ever oversold stuff? Yeah, we're really interested and we buy it back. Okay, so they're interested, they've watched the information, they know how it works. It's a £10 registration fee, etc., etc. How soon do you want to get started? If they say now, just send them the link. Fantastic. All you need to do is go to www. Click on register as a partner and let me know your ID number at the end so I can book you in for a planning session. All right. So why do you think some of them words are important?
So you're relaying with them a little bit. So you're telling your story as well.
Yeah. But you need to know people who've done it as well, and a bit of urgency. So if you just sent them whoever just sent them the website and just hoped somebody joins, rather than saying that they've already said they want to do it now, Right, go onto my website now and let me know your ID number so they've got something to do at the end. And then you're booking them in for the planning session, which is obviously our fast start plan. Because that then goes into more detail, doesn't it? When we actually get a conversation with them with the fast start plans. Rather than going into a huge conversation over text messages or phone calls, they're already interested, get them registered, and then you can go into more detail in the training. All right. Is that all pretty clear? Pretty straightforward. So you could, somebody could text me now and ask me for information, and I could reel that off literally, you know, because you've got the predictive thing on your phone, because I say the same thing literally over and over again on a daily basis. I can just click it and it'll send the same text messages out for me because I do it repetitively. So pretty much any conversation that you have can be led that way, or very similar with them the same back replies. All right, so let's get to know them, where you're based, where you're from. It's easier for me to show you if they ask for information. It's easy for me to show you. We've got a short video that explains what we do and what we're looking for. Can you watch it now? Yeah, fantastic, blah, blah, blah. How soon do you want to get started? And then registration, done. Don't overcomplicate it. And you all know it works because I've screenshotted it and sent it into the chats, how I've done it. So just get your way, get your words, how you talk, etc. But don't be a robot, but it's the way you word things anyway. But you need a slight play on the words to get the right answers that you want from them questions. Does that make sense? Cool. What else? Consistency obviously is key, which obviously we're going to touch on. Confidence, isn't it, and stuff. It's that consistency. If you've got your daily habits every single day, results will happen. And I'm not going to say everybody joins every day because it doesn't happen. I'll go through spells where I get annoyed and I'm like, is what I'm doing working? Because I might go, I don't know, a week or two and somebody doesn't join. And I'll sometimes throw a little bit of a huff and a paddy, but I don't stop. I just know it's part of the process. And I'll just keep on going. Because then I'll all of a sudden get a load on the bounce. Because it's all numbers at the end of the day, isn't it? If you know your ratios, you know your ratios. So be consistent with your wins if you're having wins or if you're not having wins. And probably the biggest thing, I mean, I've talked about this a lot of times in the past, don't hold emotions to the outcome. Really do not hold emotion to it. You are going to be successful if they join your business or not. Your job is just to show them what it is that we do. Okay, and if you show enough people join. It's as simple as that. Okay. And obviously follow-ups, we've touched on follow-ups. Follow-ups is massively important because, like I say, not everyone joins the first point of contact. I think it was Helen again. I think it was only Helen that asked me the questions, but if people are commenting, messaging or whatever from Facebook or LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn quite a lot as well as Facebook. I'll add them as friends. So you want them to see your journey, don't you? Because we said at the beginning, people watch and follow you for a period of time. So just because they might have ignored you or timing's not right for them, try and get them as a friend. Please be my friend. But try and build more connections and more friends, because again, it's a bigger audience, isn't it? I mean, the old clock face we talk about of stuff happens in people's lives every 4 years, something major happens in people's lives. So that could be a loss of a job, etc. I don't know, a marriage, divorce, something major happens every 4 years. Okay. So it depends on when you've asked them in them 4 years to join the business. If everything's fine at that point, they're not going to join, are they? But it's fair to say when people join the business, something isn't quite right in their life at that point, because they've joined for some reason, haven't they? So it depends on when you've asked them. So that's why it's important to keep following up. So it might take 4 years for somebody to join, but it might take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week. Depends on when that major thing's going to happen in their lives. And to be honest, at the minute, something major's happened to everyone's lives with this cost of living crisis. So the time for everybody, we just need to speak to as many people as we physically can. All right. And then I want to quickly touch on leverage as well. So I use leverage is huge in building a business. It's when you sign somebody up, we all know we've got 6 days to move a partner, I hope. Do we all know that? So you've got 6 days to put a partner within your business. So we only need realistically to get to the top 6 or 7 partners wide, and then the rest is about building structure within your business. Okay, so you've got 6 days. You can use leverage in 2 ways. You can use leverage to build momentum in your own team. So you've just signed somebody, you can go to somebody else that needs a certain promotion, or you want to get them going, whatever. I'll use Danielle, she's right in front of me on the page, so I could just go to Danielle. Look, Danielle, I've just signed this fantastic lady called Liz. I know she's going to be fantastic at this business. I do want to help you move faster. So if you can get 2-3 customers this week or a partner, I can put Liz within your team, but I'll help support and coach her. Are you up for that? Yeah, so that builds momentum in that part.
Holding you to that.
Pardon?
I'm holding you to that.
It's on record, it's on record. So use momentum and leverage within your team. So you've brought in one person, and now you're challenging Danielle to then bring somebody else in. That's 2 people. And then Danielle can do it into her team somewhere. And then you can see how that creates momentum in that business and that team. And you can go back with follow-ups with leverage. So I've spoken to a huge amount of people, because I speak to people every single day. And I know people who are sort of interested, or people that I really do want to have in the business, that do have a good network and I know they're going to be really, really good at the business. You could sign somebody up and you can go back to them and say, look, I know the timing wasn't right the other day, but I know you'll be fantastic at this business, and you know how the big money works is in residual income. So I've got this fantastic lady called Liz. I know she's going to be fantastic. If you can get yourself registered this evening, I can put Liz within your team, but I'll help support and coach her. Do you want to get yourself registered? In fact, I think I said that to you, Liz.
Yeah, you did.
So it's going back to people. So first, when you sign somebody up, your job's not over. Your job's only just starting. That's when your momentum then builds. Because I know once I've signed one partner up that month, I know I'm going to sign quite a few. Because then it's all leverage. Because you can sign 2. Yeah. You could have 3 in a line. You can go and go back to Helen. Helen, look, I know you're going to be brilliant in this business. I've got 3 other team members I can pop in your team if you get yourself registered this evening. So you can keep going back to people. I know you're switched on and clever, and you're not going to pass this opportunity up. I've got 3 people. You can start a business straight away with a team. you want to give it a go? And if they say no, you're like, you're basically telling yourself you're stupid. Do you know what I mean? So it's that belief and posture. Because you've got 6 days. I do that every single day. Right? So if you sign somebody up, I don't tell them I've got 6 days. I'll tell them they need to register that day. Because to be fair, they do. And then the next day, I'll just say to somebody else, but you could possibly use the same person. If you get registered today, you've got 6 days to do that before they actually have to move. So it's your urgency of how you deliver that to that person. All right. Does that make sense? We're happy with leverage because I think that's a massive part of it, and that's key. If you get one partner up, you can build at least 10, 15 people in a month. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you want me to cover? Has anybody put anything in the chats? Let me have a quick look at the chats before. People need to hop off. And when you move these newbies under people, so has anybody got any questions? Have we covered everything that you want to know?
Zoe had a comment, bless her, that she feels she's not good enough if they're not reaching their goals when they start.
Okay, so that's more about supporting when they join rather than bringing them in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it could be the other way of confidence of, I don't want to bring people in because I don't feel confident enough to get them the results. Possibly. Again, it's a little bit of a ratio thing. Not everybody's going to do stuff. It's down to them at the end of the day, isn't it? We can guide them and help them as much as we possibly can, but not everybody's going to do stuff. That's just
That's a funny face. These where we connect.
I'm glad I took the screenshot earlier.
Might come back on. If you've got to go, guys, then that's fine.
I've only just got here. I got here late.
I noticed there's no interference now that he's not on.
There you go. It's like clear. Richie for. Oh. Yeah, I mean, if you've got to go, guys, I mean, we've got the main part of it, haven't we? So we've got notes and we've recorded it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's beyond us to go back and watch later because, let's say, I got here late today.
Oh.
Yeah, battery done.
He's probably still talking to himself, not realising he's disconnected.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go anyway. I have an early start in the morning, so I just want to say hi, and I'm happy to have joined the group, and I hope we can all be friends at some point.
Definitely, definitely.
Just put the message on.
Sorry, what was that, Andrea?
His battery's died. He's put a message on the team
Ah.
group.
Oh.
Oh,
Sorry, so that's
Okay,
that.
I'll say good night then.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Lucy. Good night.
Bye.
night.
Bye, everyone. I don't want to do that.